Hello, hello. Welcome to the Confidence Cure podcast with myself. And I have a lovely, lovely guest with me today. We have a PT. She has been in the female industry for many, many years, and she's been an online coach since COVID, but she's actually been in a PT since she was the age of 17. And we have the lovely Carly Cross here with us. And she's going to be telling us all about her journey and what's built her confidence and how she helps her clients with it as well. So, hello, Carly.
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, good. So I just want to ask you a few things about how you have like what's the main thing that you think that how you help people in the industry? Like
I
what's
help people completely ditch the dieting world and get that food freedom, which then helps them get their spark back that sometimes they don't even realize they've lost along the way.
okay, and what got you into that in the first place? Why are you so passionate about
I've lost my spark one too many times.
it? And when was one of these times?
So I don't even think I knew I had my own little unique spark when I was younger, if you like. When I was younger, I didn't feel like I ever fit in. I struggled in school. I know now I've got ADHD, but when I was in school, I was completely undiagnosed. I really struggled to sit and learn. I didn't feel like I fit in with all the kids. Although I was with the popular lot, if you like, I felt like I was just always on the edge, never in the middle, accepted. Um, and I swam nationally, and I ended up with an eating disorder. It kind of happened by mistake, if you like, but it was then fed into people were like noticing me and saying how small I was, and people were asking me how I was so small. And actually, I remember the guys in my year, we used to compare six packs. I had a six pack. So yeah, we used to compare six packs, and I felt like, oh yeah, it's accepted. But obviously, by being feeling accepted, and it kept everyone at arm's length, and I wasn't happy in my own self. I honestly thought that was the only way, and I grew up in the 90s, so it was heroin chic then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fashionable. I think that fed into it. So yeah, I was confident at being good in my eating disorder, I guess.
When
But
people were
slightly different wrong confidence there.
when people were asking you how like you was maintaining that and how you were so small, did you have the confidence to tell them how you got that small, that like it was an eating disorder, or did you shy away from it?
Yeah, I didn't even accept it. So therefore, like, I didn't know it was an eating disorder. And my dad, he's massive. He's 6 foot 8, really tall. So he's got massive hands. I used to get him to hold his hands around my waist to measure, and I used to try and get my waist so small that his hands would get smaller. And to the point he could see that I was thriving off that, and he was like, "No, I'm not doing that anymore. It's weird."
Yeah.
Um, but like, yeah, things like that I used to do all the time, and I didn't even realize at the time it was a problem until I was bombarded at a family intervention. I walked into a room and the whole family was there, and they were like, "Look, this is serious. You need help." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't know what you're all on about." And I actually ignored it for years and years, just kind of went my own way about it. And I think because I never got help for it, because it is that you're not good enough if you're unless you're skinny. And I had to be the skinniest person in the room in order to feel like I was enough.
Mhm.
And that's sad, even thinking that. So went through all the way through college and into my second relationship. My first one was in school. My second relationship, it went on into that. And it wasn't until within that relationship I was like, hang on, like I probably, because by that point it turned to bulimia. So, and I was secret binging. I compared to when I was anorexic, I felt so ashamed that I had no control over this binging. Um, and it was so secretive. But the anorexia secret felt cool. I hate saying that, but it felt cool, like I'm okay, like whereas this one felt really bad.
What do you think the difference was between the bulimia and the
I think it comes from the hiding from everyone else. Whereas with the anorexia, it was there. Everyone could see it. I wasn't eating. I'd miss meals. Like everyone saw it. Whereas now people thought I was getting better and I was hiding it from everyone.
okay?
So keeping it almost a secret.
And how has this like affected you? Has it like affected the whole of your life, or do you feel like did you have to get like certain help to make you turn it around? Did you ever have like that point where like actually I have to turn it around, or it is going to affect my whole life?
Yeah, so my turnaround point is I started training. I get a little bit my brain memory of all the dates and timelines slightly off, but I know I was becoming a PT, and one of the I worked at David Lloyd at this point, and the PTs there were phenomenal. They'd been in the industry for years, and I looked up to them massively, and I wanted to be as successful as them. And one of the PTs turned around to me when I was eating my micro meal for my lunch, and he was like, "Why are you eating that?" And I was like, "Well, it's better than eating nothing." And he was like, "Is it like your calorie deficit must be huge?" And I was like, "What's a calorie deficit?" Never even heard of it. I was like, "What is that?" Blew my mind, right? So I must have been 18, 19 at the time. I was like, "What is that?" Um, and then when I looked into that, I was like, "Wow, if I want to make it in this industry, I can't have all this. Like this, they haven't got this. I need to get it sorted." And then that was the moment that I was like, "Right. I can't do it alone. I need help." And I can remember I went and got help. You have to go for an assessment. The term assessment I don't think is ever great. Um, and I was sat in the changing room waiting area. And I said to my mum, "What if they don't believe that I have an eating disorder?" Mum was like, "They will. You'll be fine." I was like, "No, they won't believe me." Because I'd hid it and I'd hid it from myself. It was the first time I was accepting it. Was I then going to be like, "Whoa, okay." And I told them and got help. And with that help, um, it changed massively because I had to go deep inside of myself. Like it wasn't just eat more. Why did I feel this way? What was causing me to be this way?
And then what did you do? Did you get help within like your patterns as to why, like back when you wanted the validation, you wasn't accepted? Did you actually heal from that? Did that give you the confidence in yourself, or was it something else?
Yeah, so I had counseling that took me way back to my childhood of like, well, you've linked weight, like losing weight to acceptance. So how can you work on feeling accepted? Does it come from within? And it was an intense couple of months of like I think it went on for like 6 months of counseling, and the whole time I was like, who am I without my eating disorder? Like it served me for so long. Who
Yeah.
can I be? And I honestly thought the moment I'd come out my eating disorder, I was gonna be huge. Like I didn't think normal, like I could be normal. It wasn't even in my thoughts. Where actually, like you don't just go from one stage to the other. It is a process normally. Um, so yeah, I really had to work at all of that. Did that answer your question?
So now you said you didn't know who you was. Who are you now then? Now you've found yourself. Who are you?
Now I'm a mum of two gorgeous girls. One is 3 and nearly 3, and one is 1.5, Ada and Nancy. I am a partner to my fiance. I'm a daughter to my mum and dad, which I'm sure at times I would have denied. I'm a family member, loving family member that shows up. I want to be present. I see my niece and nephew quite a lot. I'm also a business owner. I've got my women's fat loss online coaching business. I am a dedicated gym goer. I like to go to the gym regularly. I also am someone that wants to try new experiences. So if someone came to me the other week and asked if I wanted to give boxing a go, I gave it a go. Paddleboarding, me and my mum are going to do in a few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. But I'm also a massive lover of traveling, and that's what me and my partner like to do in our spare time.
Okay, great. And with all of this then, like so obviously you're doing coaching, you're doing online coaching. With your experiences, how do you implement what you've learned through your journey to your coaching?
That it's not it's not about, like, the first question I ever ask anyone is, what is your goal? Everyone gets asked that. But then why? What does it mean to you? And what does it mean if you don't get there?
Mhm.
And it's always the why that I think is more important than the actual goal itself. The I want to lose 10 kg. Okay. Why? I want to wear smaller clothes. Why? I'm hiding in my current clothes. Why? Because I feel disgusting. Ah, right. So that's, you feel
Yeah.
disgusting. And then we can work with that. Um, so yeah, that's how I feel I link it, but also through my experiences, I used to have the worst relationship with food, obviously for being anorexia, then binge eating, bulimia. I now have trained so many women to break the all or nothing cycle. And every time I coach someone to help break them with that through food freedom, which I never ever truly believed that I could have. Even at the
Mhm.
beginning when I was coaching people, I was telling them to eat things and I was like, oh, can I? But I've challenged it, I've tested it from years, and we're talking from me being 19, I'm now 33. I've challenged and tested it. I now live completely food free, no food guilt. I don't track currently. I've been through waves of tracking. I initiatively eat.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I show clients through my own experience and then experience of other clients, that actually food doesn't have to be the forefront of absolutely everything you do. You don't have to, oh, I can't do that because they're going to eat X, Y, Z. And it's exhausting. And once you fix that food free, like that food relationship and get food freedom, actually opens so much for you because it's so much quieter in your brain.
Yeah, and I love the fact where you go through the whys, the whys, the whys, and then like you said, you've saying I'm feeling disgusting, and then you can ask like, okay, so because you feel, what is it actually holding you back from? So when, if they didn't feel like that, what would you actually be doing? So do you get any of them light bulb moments where they've actually feeling better themselves, confidence, and now they're like going through all these different avenues that they never thought they'd ever be able to walk through?
Yeah, so my favorite transformations are the ones like scale weight body transformations are absolute fabulous. Like we all love to see them. But actually, my favorite transformations are the people that have gone from one job, changed job, maybe even ditched a boyfriend on the way, got a different boyfriend. Yeah, and I just think, wow, I can be part of that. Like, thank you for letting me be part of that.
Because they found themselves, they've got the confidence. Actually, I'm worth so much more than this. What am I actually doing? And on top of that, they're getting fit, healthy, physically, and then like mentally and emotionally, they're like literally leveling up. And you can see their whole life around them is literally just evolving. So I think it's so much more than just like fitness, and it just gives you so much more to life, doesn't it?
100%. And I feel like, because with food freedom, it sometimes comes with saying no to certain foods, right? But I feel like when you can do that with food, my clients are learning to say no in other situations that they've never said no to. And each time you do that, it's just a tick in the box for showing up for you. And then that's when they're like, hang on, I can do anything. And when it's almost like it's a 1 week process where they get this light bulb and then they just turn electric and it's like, oh, this happened, oh, now this has happened, and you're like
Uh,
trying to keep up with them.
Post about no the other day actually, because no, it's not just being selfish. It's not saying no, you're not letting people down because like you're being like horrid or anything like that. It's like an actual act of self-love. Like actually that doesn't suit me and my future self, and it doesn't align with my goals, so why would I do it? And if you just change that, and there's certain ways you can say, you don't actually have to say the word no. You can start off with like, maybe next time, or I'd rather do this, and like you can phrase it in different ways. And it's just like you said, it would just be like they're showing up for themselves, because a lot of people are people pleasers where they're doing a lot of things that they don't want to be doing, and they're just back backing themselves.
Yeah, and this was me. These are all traits that Sorry, mum, because she will listen to this. But these are traits that are learned. It is learned behaviors, which is why when it comes to a lot of my clients, I talk about, okay, well, what does your mum do when it comes to dieting? What has her background been of dieting? Because a lot of the time you can see why they're stuck in this rut. And I have actually coached mums of clients before, and then they've gone on the process together, and that's an incredible one to do. I like that.
Really nice. So, like in the fitness industry, then, like you've got like your typical what your PT should look like. So obviously, you joined with like you still had your eating disorder at that point. How do you feel like did that impact how you got clients, how you was with your clients, like having that image that you should be?
Yeah, so because my diet was so poor, like I was obviously skinny, but, and I hate the term, but skinny fat, like because my diet was so poor, I trained hard, too hard. But I had no muscle definition for years and years. And I think I did attract clients because they looked at me and was like, "Oh, you're small. You must know what to do." And I think that did happen at the beginning. But I think actually when I started to do, I've done a few photo shoots. I've done four, and you have to be confident to step in front of that camera. I remember the first time I turned up, and I was like, "What am I doing?" Like oh. And then when I got those photos back, I was like, "Wow, I look amazing. Book another one."
Yeah.
But I think when I started doing them, and you could see that I had more muscle definition and things like that, people were like, "Oh, well, she must know what she's doing because she obviously is putting in the work." So
Mhm.
I've got to go to her because she knows what she's talking about. But I don't think I don't think you have to look a certain way to influence someone. How, like, especially to start, because I know we spoke about your journey. Actually, you share your beginning journey because I'm
So
half
when I
interested.
so like I've lost over well over 50 odd kg now, but when I first was on the floor when I first became a PT, I was 25 kg heavier than what I am now. So then like obviously I was thinking, oh my God, like I'm nothing like the other PT girls or anything like that. How am I gonna get clients? Like I just literally just put a little bit of weight on because I just had surgery. And I was just like the self-doubt in myself, like you've actually put weight on, like you're meant to be losing weight right now. So I was like, never gonna get clients, never gonna get clients. Gonna take one look at me and just think I don't know what I'm doing. But because I was more real and I was doing my journey and they was watching me do my journey, and like I had a lot of mums at that time, I worked with what I had, the confidence. I knew what I was doing. I've already lost 50 odd kg. Like I was training hard. I knew I was actually on the journey and I could literally show them I was doing it. The confidence shone through, not just my body. So I was like on consultation call and they were like, yeah, but my mum told me that they just had kids. And I was like, mate, I've got a mum told me I'm not even a mum. Like, come on. Like, and was doing the journey. So like I've lost like 25 kg since then. And like, because I've done it with, it's been so much more enjoyable. And I've been like, if I'd have let that self doubt, like, obviously, I don't like tell people to be a PT if you're overweight and not trying to get better at yourself. It's good to be healthy. Like, my BMI is really healthy and all them things. So I wouldn't just stay there. But the fact I was doing my journey with them was really good. And the fact I didn't let the self doubt of, but all these 20-year-olds are like, never put an ounce of fat on. Like, I'd literally put loads of weight on. And I was just like, and one of my friends was like, "So good job you didn't wait, because look at where you are now." And then if I had have waited until I got to where I am now, I would have like where would like nothing would have evolved. I wouldn't have evolved. So it's a case of you don't have to look the part, but you have to be aiming to be better. Like you couldn't, I don't know, like you do have to look like you know what you're doing. You need to look some sort of health. Like you can't be like a walking diabetic person. I wouldn't say, but you have to show some sort of knowledge that you're trying to, like you are still going through a journey and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, for me, because I was obviously unhealthy, BMI unhealthy, I was super unhealthy. But from an untrained eye, she's skinny, she must know what she's doing. I don't think like I do think that did play into it, but actually I was one of the only because I was so confident when I became a PT. Sorry, I know I've jumped from thing to thing there. But I'll just explain my PT journey. So I started at David Lloyd. I was the only gym floor um, like, what do they call it? Gym floor instructor. So I was cleaning the kit basically. But I would talk to everyone, anyone that looked at me, I always will. I talk, right? So I was talking to everybody, I was building rapport. So then when I came a PT, my client base went up because they were all waiting for me because I'd already built that rapport. So was that based off my body? I'm not, like, probably, because that did cause conversations in the gym. But then I left there because I thought that was too easy. That's not how PTing works. I'm gonna work hard to get clients. So I left there, went to an Everyone Active. Within a month, I had 30 clients. And I was like, what is this? Like, why is it so easy? Why aren't all these PTs like flourishing back-to-back clients? And the reason why, and I think it links with what you were saying, I practice what I preach always. Even now, if like the other night, I work out every single Tuesday. I can't at the moment. My girls have chicken pox, so I was with them. I went to go to his gym in my garage. I'm fortunate enough to have one. I went in there and I was like, "Am I doing this because I'm feeling into that all or nothing mindset of if I miss one workout, everything's gonna go, or am I doing this because I want some outburst?" So I completely changed it there and then because it was an outburst that I wanted. So rather than doing an hour session, which I went in mentally to do, I then switched to a quick 15-minute, came inside and was buzzing.
Yeah.
And that's practicing what I preach. And I do it daily. And I think that is why I am so confident in my knowledge when as a coach, because I will always practice what I preach. I'm not ever going to ask a client to do something I either haven't done myself or I wouldn't be willing to do.
Yeah, no, exactly that. And I think that massively helped me as well. Like when you first started, you could tell I was nervous and I was just like, but like people by people, you can see that you're on a journey. You can see you know what you're doing because you're just doing it daily. Like you don't have to think twice. If it's something that you don't do, if someone asks you a question and you're not doing it regularly, it'll take you a moment to actually answer. But if you're doing it regularly, it's just like at the tip of your tongue sort of thing. So I think that massively helps.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now if you could say like what would be your thing where you'd say, so going back from when you was a child to now, what would you say, how would you define confidence? What's your confidence look like to you? So like now you've got the two girls, like how would you describe confidence to them now?
Confidence to me, it isn't like, let's link it to a gym, for example. You will see, can you hear that background noise or is that okay?
No, no, I
Oh,
can't.
it's stopped. Confidence to me isn't, I feel like there's a lot of fake confidence out there, basically, like where someone might walk around the gym looking super confident, but actually, if you just have a conversation with them, they're really like not feeling great about themselves and so on. So, confidence to me doesn't look a certain way, it comes from a feeling of doing something and knowing that you're okay with what you've done, which let's explain that even further because I don't feel like that makes much sense. So I'm confident in different areas of my life. When it comes to the gym, I'm very confident. I know that I can move really well. I know that I'm strong and I'm absolutely fabulous because my experience have molded me into that, right? I feel great in the gym. Um, Comes to motherhood, there's certain situations I'm confident in. Other situations, I still don't know where I'm going with it because it's all brand new. So I'm not confident in that area at all sometimes.
Is that because it's more new and you don't know what you're doing? Whereas like gym, you've been doing it for a very young age. Like motherhood, you've been doing it what for a couple of years now, nearly 3 years. And you obviously it's going to be new aspects all the time. Is it because it's number one, you're emotionally connected to these children, and number two, it's the unknown, like that you've got too many lives depending on you. So,
Yeah, I think it's the confidence comes from not questioning your action, is what I think.
yeah,
Whereas when I'm parenting, in some situations, I am constantly questioning, is that the right thing? It, is that right? Whereas actually there is no right or wrong, and I'm learning with them along the way. Um, but is it because it's new? I'm not sure because I like when we go traveling, I like going to new places. and I thrive on going, like, I won't ever repeat the same location. I want to go
Yeah,
to a new place because I want to see more things. And I'm confident when exploring. I'm confident in a new country that I know nothing about.
you like that, like that.
Yeah. Did I even answer that question?
So if you could like literally say what confidence is, so like if you had to explain to the girls now, like, come on, you are confident, what would you say?
Confidence is knowing yourself and knowing that you can do what you want to achieve. You can do anything you want to achieve, and whatever you think you want to do, you're right at thinking that.
Yeah. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you could help me reword that a bit better.
So like you can see that they're confident, and if you've got the thoughts there, you know you can actually do it. If the thoughts are in the mind, you can physically put it into reality type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. So like where do you see the biggest problem, not problem as such, but do you know, like you've had quite a few female clients now, where do you see the most self-doubt? Like where do you see people stepping back and not just putting themselves out there?
Committing to their self, like making that promise and fulfilling it for their self because it's seen as selfish.
Yeah. Do
And that's quite help holds back a lot of women. Um,
you think that's for men as well, or just women?
I I do think it can be for both. However, I feel like men are better at portraying fake confidence, and sometimes, you know the saying, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does help. And I feel like men don't process how women do in regards to the way we would look at something. You're already thinking 1,000 different situations that could happen from it, whereas a man's going in a little more blind, I guess.
They go from logic very well, so they just see yes or no. But we're so emotional, like especially like aren't we? So we go on our feelings. So men are very very logical, but I do feel like men do struggle with that confidence as well, in just in different ways, and they don't show it as much. But we don't see that there'll be. I feel like men are so confident in other areas, but then you'll see them not as confident in certain areas of their life. Is
Yeah,
that
no, I agree with that. I think men would avoid a situation that doesn't make them feel confident, where a woman would almost be like backed into a bit of a corner where they almost have to sometimes.
yeah, so you have I feel like women, like we're not confident, but we do it anyway because we've got that kind of like mother instinct leadership in us. Whereas men, they're just like very logical. I'll do what makes me feel good and what doesn't. So they
Yeah.
don't well, we'll get over this. Like you was nervous to come on here today. You were like, yeah, but like I'm gonna do it. Like you just do it. Whereas I feel like some men, and I think it is slightly different with men and women.
I can actually give you a really good example for this. So at my girls' nursery, they had a Mother's Day event a while back, and I was nervous about it, super nervous. And because I've got the two of them in new situations, I'm not confident because I'm like, oh, how am I going to control them? Is everyone going to look at me and think she can't keep her kids under control? And I went in super, super nervous, but I did it because I wanted to show up for the gals.
Yeah,
Father's Day obviously just went past, didn't it? And there was a Father's Day thing, and my partner had to go. I say had to go. He was invited to go. And first thing he said, "Do I have to?" Well, I didn't even have like I
yeah,
had to, like it wasn't even questionable that I could possibly not go. I was going, but
yeah.
for him it was, well, do I have to? That's not something because it's a situation that he was having the same worries about me, and he didn't feel confident. But sometimes the kids again can be a little confident blanket sometimes because they do have that confidence. They're willing to try new situations without thinking, what if?
Yeah, definitely. So like you kind of was you felt like you had to go, like it was just an expected, and then men can literally fall back into that. They just relax a little bit, like, do I have to do it? Like you've taken the mom role basically. But I feel like women take the mom role in a lot of places, not just in like motherhood. So
Mm.
yeah, I completely get that. But no, it does make a massive difference of like how men and women deal with their confidence, I think. Yeah, if you could give like one big tip to like your clients, future clients, any person that's listening to this now, if they're wanting to do things but they've got like self-doubt and they don't want to actually step forward, what would your tip be? What would your advice be?
My top tip, if you're scared of doing something, if you're not feeling like you can push yourself to do it, think of the absolute worst case scenario on that situation. So again, I'll just link it back to the gym to make it an example we can all recognize. But worried about going to gym for the first ever time, what's the worst that can happen? You could go there, you could spill your whole drink right in front of everyone and everyone might look. Your trousers could rip, your stuff could fall out of your gym bag, you could go sit on a gym machine and you not be able to work it, so you have to go to something else. All the dumbbells are busy, so you couldn't use the dumbbells, so you have to change your exercise. What's then the best situation to happen? You go in, you do your exercises, you feel good while you're doing your exercises, the plan just flows nicely, you have a nice conversation with someone, you then leave the gym and you feel amazing. What's the middle ground? And I think by going into certain situations, knowing what the worst could be for you, because the worst will look for everyone, the worst will look different for everyone. So knowing what the worst would look like for you, knowing what the absolute best would look like, and then the middle ground, I think it just helps manage those expectations. So then when you go, then take a really positive like log of what happened, because that's another thing. I don't think people take account of when things go really good or they don't happen to be the worst situation that came. I don't think people take enough time to process it and actually like almost store it in a positive log in your brain for the next time it comes to it. I think we're all really good at being like, oh, what if, and creating a massive list. But what if we had something to compare it to? So creating that positive log as well as the what if list.
Positive something that you're already doing it. It gives them the belief that they're already doing it. When you believe you're already doing something, it makes it a lot easier. But no, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for coming today. And I'm sure that you're helping so many people as you have done since you were the age of 17 being a PT. So yeah, a massive thank you for coming today.
Thanks for having me. I hope I answered all the questions. I'm very good at sometimes going off on a tangent.
Perfect. Your story is amazing. It's going to help a lot of people to know. Just keep being you. That's what I'm going to say. Just be you.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. And that is it for today. Thank you very much for listening.